I joke still that, the lifeblood of British volunteering is this tea, right? Like without that, what have you really got to offer people? Before we got our first Growing Green grant, we couldn't boil a kettle on site, and we relied a lot on people's fortitude. But if you're in your 70s, you can't stay out all day in the cold and the rain. And you deserve a cup of tea and a biscuit, to be honest. My name is Joshua Piercey. I am development manager at Communigrow. We are an outdoor and food education charity that's based near East Malling. And mostly what we do is we use food growing, particularly collective food growing, as an educational motif that supports a load of other well-being and healthy living programs. So by teaching people how to grow their own food, we are improving their diets, we're improving their mental health, we're getting them physically active. But I think we're also generating, what we refer to as food sovereignty. And that, I think, instills a greater sense of independence and resilience in the people that we work with. And I think that's one of the most important, aspects of what we do. It wasn't that the solar panels were nice to have. We knew exactly what we wanted them for, right? And we knew that, we need to improve the volunteer experience, but I don't think we knew quite what it would unlock, I think, across the site. A really great example, we've got a fridge in the cabin now, and the fridge is for keeping the milk cold, right? But it occurred to me almost immediately, volunteers and beneficiaries, now they've got a refrigerated place to store their medicine. That has broadened the access profile of Communigrow hugely in a way that we'd never even twigged, right? To have something that gives you accessibility like bonuses, really, without really having to think about it, it's amazing. So the solar panels have been fantastic. They are static, however. They're bolted to the roof of the cabin. The support from Growing Green that we've received this time has allowed us to get a couple of big portable battery packs, a portable fold-out solar panel that I am just over the moon about. It's the best bit of kit I've ever seen in my life. We can charge the battery packs up with 100% renewable energy as well that we're generating on site, and then we can take that 100% renewable energy out on the road or anywhere away from a plug. And so that means, where I'm sitting right now, we're up in our wildlife area, young people come and do outdoor classes here. We could cook here, right? We could get a table and we could get the electric hobs and we could plug them into the battery pack. But it also means we can do a field to fork workshop we can go and deliver it for a forest school in a forest. We can do it on a housing estate in the middle of a car park. We don't need a plug suddenly. It frees us up, literally, in terms of the actual space that we're doing it in, but figuratively, it frees us up to just do what we do, but now do it anywhere we feel like. It's rare for us to have got a bit of support that has had such a transformative effect on the way the charity runs. One of the great things about the Growing Green training was that there were lots of practical examples. It was very kind of grounded in terms of right, here's organizations that are doing this and this is the benefit that they're seeing. And that makes that sort of change and development seem sort of tangible. It gave us a lot to think about. And for a place like Communigrow, it's important to get new stuff to think about, really, because if we don't innovate, we're going to struggle in this space. If I were talking to other charities and other sort of organisations in our network about growing Kent and Medway, the team themselves, I'm really impressed with. I'm so glad that I've got those contacts now. The needs assessment that we did was really important because it gave us, for the first time, real clear-eyed, good data on, the running and the energy requirements of the site, and the opportunity for networking, for meeting people in the same sort of space with similar sort of goals. There is a surprising lack, a surprising dearth of, not of networking necessarily, of opportunities, but of organizations that are shepherding and creating structure around that. So just having something Kent-based, where the responsibility for getting those people in the room is driven by someone else, and that's their job and that's what they care about, is such a huge relief, right? It's building a network. And I think for organizations like ours, it's very easy to feel like you're in direct competition with a lot of other groups that are doing something broadly similar to you. So to have a team that is providing sort of circular support, circular economy support, logistical support, just contact support, having that as a resource to draw on, I think actually is probably the most valuable thing when you really spread the outcomes out. I mean, the cash is good, and I'm sure, lots of our partners would agree, but knowing that there's someone there who has a mandate to care about the stuff that you care about is that is big, and that is new, actually.